welcome to
Count Game Movie Show.
on K94, and today we shall be bringing you the
Ghost in the Shell movie review. Live action.
live action. We went radio show there. hey guys, but today we shall be reviewing Ghost in the Shell, the live action
Scarlett Johansson.
with Scarlett
star.
Johansson. Let's just jump into it. Let's jump full on into the pool here.
Ghost in the Shell. If you don't know,
It was a movie, and then it was an animated series.
It has a couple.
Anime
movies.
series.
Only one of those movies is really that good because they're all on Hulu, and I watched them last night when you left because we were hanging out, and I watched it, and I was like, because I wanted to compare.
We
them.
were binging Cowboy Bebop.
We were binging Cowboy. We were binging
Again?
Well,
I haven't seen that show in years,
I was
dude.
watching it, and he was like, "I want to see it," and I was like,
And I haven't
"Because he
seen it
doesn't have
in-
Hulu anymore,
I don't
so he
have
can't
Hulu
just watch
anymore.
it." So he was over at my house watching it. But anyways,
So awesome.
I watched the original, and that is a masterpiece. And if you don't know, that inspired The Matrix, Tron, and
So many
countless other video games and countless other things. This
Shortly
anime-
after that movie, there was an anime series that
Mhm.
was written about it, or that was done about it. The animated series was awesome.
it's a good anime series. Not as good as the movie.
Not as
but
good as a movie,
you
but
know
it's
how that
still.
kinda
I
works.
still need to watch it. It's one of the few classics I haven't watched.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's a really good classic.
It's
But
awesome. It's one of those few animes that makes you think. It's got a lot of questions, a lot of moral questions, a lot of humanity questions. It's awesome.
But
that way.
when this movie was announced, a lot of people, Mark, you know about this, were mad
We
about
all
the
know.
casting of Scarlett
Oh yeah,
Johansson.
everyone.
Yeah, but they're
It was
idiots.
bullshit.
Yeah, but they're idiots because obviously they didn't see that in an interview with the creators. They said they never intended for her to be Asian.
But it doesn't matter.
But let's just say they did. Let's just say that maybe they didn't intend that, or maybe they didn't care. She's a fucking robot, so
You
she
mean-
doesn't have anything down here,
Well,
or she's a fucking robot.
she's more of a cyborg.
She's a cyborg.
What?
maybe.
Well, okay, but
It's like
point
it's like
point
it's
being.
like an Android 18, 17.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Point being is that she's more machine than human.
Yeah, she's more machine
She's
than
like
human.
she's basically 98% machine, 2% human
Yeah, pretty much.
in terms of technicality. But that's
So
technicality.
this movie,
RoboCop's inspiration.
ironically, did this inspire RoboCop 2? that's why. That's why.
Are you
Ghost in-
sure? I
it-
feel like RoboCop came out before this.
No, Ghost in the Shell was a book before it was ever a movie.
That's true.
So
It was like a novel or was it a manga?
it was a manga.
It was a manga. Okay.
It was a manga before it was a movie.
The marshmallows are barking.
So it inspired. That's why I put it number one on my anime list because I went back and looked at the history. I'm just like, this thing inspires so much. I can't have it not be number one if it inspired so many great other things.
Yeah,
But
and the animated series very entertaining. But now let's get to the live action.
it had a lot of weight on its shoulders.
Does it live up to the hype, or does it live up to the expectations of
Does
the
it live
original?
up to that high standard?
No,
It doesn't.
no,
It doesn't. It doesn't really get that close. Really.
It doesn't even get that close.
It's-
But was it a bad movie?
It wasn't.
No.
It wasn't a bad
It
movie.
was a bad movie.
It wasn't. It just wasn't Ghost in the Shell. Like in the sense of it didn't.
Was it at least kind of close?
It was close. Okay, let me start off with
So like,
positive.
It's
You know
not
what?
a bad.
Let's start off
You
with
know what?
positives.
I'm gonna start with the positive. The CG and
The
special
CGI
effects
especially
are
were
awesome.
awesome.
Like,
That
there's
guy
a-
deserved
the,
a raise.
The beginning intro scene, I don't want to spoil it. We'll say it in our spoiler
there's
section.
discussion, yeah.
But it is awesome, Mark. Like it is something out of an anime. Like I'm
It
like
is
it is like
epic.
someone took an anime, like showing the things that you would see in an anime, and put it in live action. I was like, wow.
That makes me happy.
Like
to
I
hear
was
that.
so like me. I was like, oh my god, this movie's gonna be so awesome. This movie's gonna be so awesome. It's gonna be
And the
just like
special
anime.
effects were so clean. They were so clean. They were so well done. Everything about it.
In the
was
city,
awesome.
if you compare the city, like after you watch the series and you watch this movie, compare the city and how futuristic it looks to side by side. It looks almost identical. They did
It's
a great
awesome.
job.
Yeah,
making
there's
the
like
city
holograms all over the place. It is just
cool
like
looking holograms.
it
too.
is so colorful. Well, because I'm like I was spoil. I mean, it's not really a spoiler. I'm like an overshot of the city is all this color and all this like changing effects. It's awesome.
They pay so good homage to the anime that right down to the fact that Major, because that's Scarlett Johansson's the main character, the female, has that suit that turns her invisible, which is a cool ass
white
effect.
suit?
that white. It's a cool ass effect, by the way. Like whenever
how
she
she
does
goes
it,
and how she goes
whenever
invisible,
she does
it's
it, it is
excellent.
really
The
gnarly.
fight
It's pretty
choreography and the combat very very well done.
I like they kept the whole mind thing where like they talk to each other without speaking.
Yeah.
Like that thing.
Yeah,
Though
Kind of like telepathy.
yeah, but it's not. It's technology.
it's tech, but yeah.
And they really did play up the whole technology thing that's in Ghost in the Shell. They really played it up how like mankind is becoming so futuristic. We're becoming obsessed with technology.
That's the moral question.
no
Are we
one's
becoming more machine
Yeah, he's
than
like,
man?
are we more machine or man? The problem. Well, I'll get to the problems later, but like
We'll get to the problems with the spoilers, but basically, let's start off the story. The story very closely follows the original Ghost in the Shell. To a degree.
They changed some things.
They changed
which they
some
shouldn't have
things.
done. That's when the problems started to come in. When I realized they are changing things that they didn't need to do. They Hollywooded it.
They really did.
They
They shouldn't
started to
have done
Hollywood the story. You know what
God.
you know what I mean? You know what I mean when I
Yeah.
say Hollywood
Where
the
they go
story?
way off track.
Well,
Yeah.
not like way off track, but they start to
But you
like
could
fluff
tell- yeah, they
stuff.
exactly.
They start to like fluff things.
They take too much of an original take on
Yeah,
it.
like they start to kind of fluff things to make it like something it's not.
That's
like,
why
they-
I
they
do.
missed the
That's why I
core of
disagree
it.
with a lot of people who say that you should always watch the original of anything and not the remake, even if it's good. Because that's the.
not true.
Well, I mean, no, I mean, like that's why I disagree with people who's like it should have been more original. I was like, but that doesn't really, but not
It's
that
supposed
doesn't
to
always
be,
work.
It's supposed to be based off the source material.
That's
Well, that's what this one needed to be, and it was to a certain
To a
extent.
certain degree. But the problem with this anime is there's a lot of animes that you already know that I don't think could be translate well. That I think they would have to change it to make it
Well, I
work.
mean, you already saw how bad they fucked up Dragon
But
Ball.
but Ghost in the Shell, there is nothing they had to change. They didn't have to change a single thing about it. There's nothing that can't be done. They proved they could do it. They just did it because they wanted to make it, I guess, appeal to a wider audience who wouldn't understand.
I'll probably make money.
Basically, because
Or both.
although anime is becoming very popular in America, there's also those few. It's become a meme to diss it. So it's like there are people who love anime, but there are people who want to diss it because it's funny.
Yeah, anime fans and wrestling fans are like in this group of people who get dissed for just liking stuff like that.
But,
It's
then,
pretty-
but it's
pretty
also,
gnarly.
but it's funny because anime is becoming so popular now that it's actually becoming normal to like anime.
But apparently they didn't trust it enough. They didn't trust it enough in this movie.
Yep.
They changed
They
it up.
really
They
didn't.
they
I mean,
unnecessarily
in the
changed
United
it.
States alone, the Dragon Ball movies made over millions of dollars.
Yeah. And last positive thing, the acting was very stupendous.
It was
To an extent.
Scarlett Johansson did a solid job.
Black
She
Widow.
she wasn't like
Ooh,
like it wasn't one of those. She didn't do as good as playing Black. Like you know how when you see Black Widow, you hear Black Widow, you think Scarlett Johansson. Like there's no one else you really see. She didn't do that in this movie.
She didn't really
She didn't like
she's the,
grab that
major.
character. Yeah, she like you see her.
You
and you're
felt like at
oh,
the end of
that's
the
cool.
movie, anyone could have played her.
Yeah, you do kind of feel like they
Ooh,
not
okay.
anyone. Okay,
Well,
I'm not gonna go that far.
yeah, true.
Because she did a decent job, but at the same time, you were like, she didn't do such a great job. You're like, oh my god, that character. She's not like Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean. Where you're like Jack Sparrow.
Or
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman and Wolverine.
Or Hugh Jackman Wolverine. She's not like that big, but she
She's
did a
not that
decent
big.
enough job.
And then there was Bato. There was Sergeant Bato. He was he was pretty good for his
That
character.
actor actually, I think
That
he
actor
did,
did
I think
very
he
well.
gave the best performance. Actually, I think he
Oh,
even did
Sergeant
better.
Bato. Yeah,
I think he
pretty
did even
well.
better than Scarlett Johansson because he embodied. If you see Bato in the anime or the movie, he looked like Bato. He
Acted like Bato. He even had
He
the same.
completely-
Well, I'm not gonna spoil it. Well, let's hit the trailer. So can I spoil that? The eyes.
Yeah, he got the eyes.
He
and
got
I
the
didn't know
eyes.
if they were gonna do that. Like, you've seen like images of Ghost in the Shell that got the eyes. Like that's Bato. And I didn't. And in the beginning, he didn't have the eyes, and I was like, "You sons of bitches!
But-
where are the eyes?" And then he got them, and I was like, "At least you did that right."
Like better.
better,
Pretty much.
better.
But so now let's talk about the cons because we're gonna get into the actual characters a little later.
Every single thing is predictable. Every and
Every
like
little thing.
I mean everything. It's like you can see it just happening, and you just
you can see
already
it coming
know.
from a mile away.
Because,
It's
like I said, they Hollywooded it. Like they made things like they tried to force these emotional beats in that weren't really emotional at all because they didn't put any context behind it.
Well, like when you're doing an adaptation, you're supposed to understand what's coming. It's based off the source.
Well, you
material.
are, but you're not supposed to make it that blatant. If you watch the Ghost in the Shell show or anime, like it has this creepiness, this thought process. It makes you think, like, but this never makes you think at all. Like they keep going on and on. First of all, they keep drinking game. How many times they say to Scarlett Johansson's character, "You have a ghost in you. You have a ghost in your shell. You have a ghost in your shell. You have a ghost in your shell." They say that shit like a billion times. Like, I get it.
I don't think
Stop
I could
it.
have another one.
Title drop.
Stop it.
And then the last
Hey,
ghost.
like-
Shit.
Lots of title drops.
Pretty much. That's literally you. Like, I mean, I'd get drunk off.
And
this
once again,
movie.
like I said, they changed things that I'll get into the spoiler section that they didn't need to try to. I don't know what they were trying to do, like make it more mainstream or something with some of the things that they
Streamline
changed.
it.
Streamline it.
They're trying to
Like,
streamline it.
I don't know
I
what
could
that
tell
was.
the times they tried to streamline it very hard, and
The bad
it
guy
just didn't need to happen.
The bad
It
guy
really
was
didn't.
so obviously the bad
Oh,
guy.
yeah, it was
which if you watch the Ghost in the Shell show, it's another one of those super great ones. You don't know who the bad guy is, or the bad guy at least has a point of why he's doing what he's doing.
or
He's
either
just
that you
evil,
never know
ha, ha, ha.
truly who he is, like, or you don't know who's the bad guy. That could be the bad guy. He could be the
You
bad
said
guy.
it. You knew who the bad guy of the whole movie was in the first few minutes
It's
of
the
the movie.
first 5 seconds of the movie. I like that one. I'm not gonna say who he is because that's spoiler territory. The minute I looked at him, I was like, bad guy.
And they treated this thing like it was a big thing, like, oh my god, he's the bad guy? I didn't know. And they're like, you know how movies do that, like, oh, it's a big reveal. It's like, no, it wasn't. He was the bad guy.
That's like saying that's like giving someone a surprise party and someone already telling them it's a surprise. That's literally, and then they walk in, everyone yells surprise, and he's like,
oh my god, I'm so surprised.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's literally the comparison
God,
I can
I
think.
hope you didn't get me that car, Mom. Thanks.
And it's one of those. It's one of those. That's the best analogy I could make off the top of my head. But that's literally what it is.
And like I said, a lot of the performances were like outside.
They were really undershadowed.
They were really like a lot. Even the supporting
Overshadowed.
cast of Ghost in the Shell are great. Like I can't quite remember their names in Japanese. I can't always remember name like those.
Hard
names.
to pronounce.
Hard to pronounce.
Sorry.
So I don't want to sit
Sorry.
here and butcher their names. So, but there are characters like there's one member who is like not. He doesn't have any biotics whatsoever or any like enhancements. And he
The
takes
whole point of
pride
that
in
is, yeah, he takes pride in that. Well, because he's so good without them, he doesn't need it. Well, he sees he doesn't need
It's not
them.
that he's so good without them. He is good without them. It's just that he doesn't think he needs them. So he's such a
He knows
bad.
his own.
So he's such a bad.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean,
but
like,
you
so that's
never
why he
get
doesn't
to
do it.
see him. You never get to see any of the crew or any of the.
Not really. You only get to
camaraderie
see
shit.
Major and Bato and the head guy. I can't remember his name.
He was a badass too.
He was a badass.
He was a badass.
He had
I'll
the
say that.
one best line in the entire film.
You-
I'm gonna say in the spoiler
Yeah, he did
territory.
have a badass
But those are the only
line.
three out of the entire original team. Those three were the only ones that were good because
But
like all the other people were they were overshadowed completely.
And another thing is,
by
have
Major.
you ever seen a movie where the movie has a message that it wants to tell you, but it beats you over the head with it like over and over again? You're like, I get it, man. You don't have to beat me over. Like the original Ghost in the Shell didn't beat you over the head with this message of like, what's the am I human still? With this, do I have this body? Am I still human? Or like, it didn't beat you over the head with it. It organically happened throughout the movie. This is just beating you over the head with it, and I'm just like, as a fan of the original, I understand what's happening because I'm like, I know what's happening. But to a person who's never seen this anime, who has never seen anime, they're gonna just be like, why are you beating me over the head with this? Which, by
That's
the way,
sad.
this movie ain't getting a sequel because it lost 60 mil.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it
It
lost
didn't make
60
it down. It didn't make a dime.
It didn't make
It did not make a dime.
It
off
lost
it.
money.
It lost money.
Was shocking to me.
Which
honestly.
sucks because you
It
know what
actually
though,
shocked
they
me.
were smart to pick this anime in my opinion. They were
is-
smart.
This is one of the few animes where I was like,
It's a decent.
you can do
So
this.
you're basically saying it's a decent anime movie.
It's the best anime movie
So far.
It's the best anime movie
Well-
ever made. Live action, big budget.
No,
best
that's
one I've
live
seen.
action.
I mean, the Rurouni Kenshin one's pretty good.
Yeah, but it was not like big budget, not like $250 million going at it. Big budget.
The biggest one they're
Yeah,
trying to make right now is Alchemist.
They oh gee.
The trailers are actually looking pretty good.
I hope so. I hope so.
I'll show you
I have
after
hope. I have hope. But I can't really think of anything else with it that was really wrong with it. I will say this: it doesn't deserve some of the reviews it's getting, like 1s and 2s.
It's not like that kind of movie.
It's not
No,
that bad.
it's
not that bad. It
not.
has
Like
way
I hated
more
how I
good
saw
in
some
it.
people were like, "Oh, it's a 3." I'm like, no.
This
no, no,
movie,
no.
this movie has a great. Like, that's why I'm kind of sad it's not getting a sequel, because it has great foundation.
Ghost in the Shell is more cyber poser than cyberpunk. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's so sad because they basically
That
invented
hurts.
cyberpunk.
They basically kind of invented the whole genre.
Rotten Tomatoes only gave it a 46. Are you serious?
Even I'll admit that's a little low. I'd give it a 50
Like,
or maybe
say,
60
like,
if I
the
were
way
them.
you're describing it,
No, no,
I
I'd give it
was
a 50.
expecting more.
The problem is like when something you're basing it off of is a masterpiece. That'd be like if Lord of the Rings was bad.
And then they remade it. It was
and
good.
they made it, and they, like, or when Lord of the Rings first came out, that book's a masterpiece. If the Lord of the Rings movie was ass, people would have been like, "Really? How'd you screw up this masterpiece?"
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Oh.
That's
what
the
I
thing,
thought
guys.
Evolution,
This is
because they
the-
put fucking Goku in high school. I was like, the dude never went to school a day in his life.
Apparently did down.
Apparently he does now.
Only
But,
schooling he had was like basic mathematics and English from Master Roshi.
All right, want to give our scores and then go into spoilers?
all right. I give Ghost in the Shell.
Is there a ghost in your shell in this one?
Yeah, there is.
Stop drinking.
A 6
Above average.
I'll give it a 6
out of 10.
It-
It was a 6.5 because
it
it was
sucks.
a little nostalgic at
I am-
first.
I am
Then the nostalgia bat. Like the nostalgia bat hit. Like you know what? Instead of hitting me over the head, it just tapped me on the head.
I will admit, it's sad that it's not gonna get a sequel because I said to Seth right when we finished watching the movie, I was like, "This isn't that great of a movie, but it has a good foundation
to be good.
to build upon to make something better."
But it's not. That's
But it's
never
not
gonna
gonna
happen.
get a sequel now.
That's like
so-
Dread. That's why I'm so sad that Dread never got a sequel.
Yeah, it's like it's such
Dread
a good
was a great.
foundation.
Well, think about one like the difference between Dread and this one. Dread was a good movie.
Do you know what? You know what movie kicked this movie's ass at the box office? Power Rangers.
That's
Power Rangers kicked this movie's ass.
that's sad. But I mean, I kind of understand, but that is sad. All right, now we're going to quickly move into spoilers. Because there's not a whole lot of them. Really not. There really isn't a whole lot of spoilers, per se.
I want to spoil that intro scene, though. It was gnarly. First of all...
You can't spoil an adaptation.
Well...
There are some things, though, that are different.
Remember I told you they changed things they didn't need to?
Yeah.
So,
That's where the spoilers come in.
but this part isn't really a spoiler. But, well, I just wanted to save it, just in case someone thought it was. That intro, when you see, like, her, like, oh, she's badly hurt, and she's, like, you see...
Oh, yeah,
you
when
see
she's getting fixed.
her brain put into this
It's not
mechanical...
it's not gross, actually. It's not that gross.
It's so gnarly the way they do. You gotta see it,
Yeah,
man.
'cause she's like floating in zero gravity, and she's like in this weird tank, and then she floats up, and then she goes through this like this weird like this cream looking liquid, and then she becomes skin. It is cool how they do that.
Like the way they do it, and then
Dude,
it just like
seriously,
flicks off, and then it just like comes off her body, and it's like all these other crap. It's weird. It is gnarly.
it is gnarly. Best line in the whole movie. You know when when the CEO goes evil, because we never saw that coming. When he's the CEO of the company,
Yeah, the company that helped
helping
her.
to make her.
First of all,
Tries to kill the entire team. They go after the leader, and like there's these three little goony guys go after him, and he's just like, and he shoots and kills all three of them, and he's like, "Don't send a rabbit to kill a fox." I was like, badass line.
That's a good line. That is
yeah, it was a bad.
That was the best line he ever said in the entire
I mean, the
movie.
whole, like I said, the crew is cool. I wanted to see more of the crew.
But you only got to see three out of all of them.
And another thing is, go figure, that CEO, the evil CEO, was technically he. First of all, they loopholed it, Mark.
They did?
They loopholed the whole Japanese thing. She was Japanese, but then they kidnapped her, killed her, put her in a new body, and then changed her to look like Scarlett Johansson.
So they tried to appeal to the people who called it.
because they couldn't have her.
It never was whitewashing in the first place.
No,
Well,
it was is disguise because they couldn't have her running around, being some girl that they've told everyone that she's dead, running around with her face killing people. So they're like, yeah, we put a new face on her. We put her brain into a new
There was
body.
also a lot of scenes in the movie. Like there was this one scene where she goes and I guess she gets a hooker. I don't know what she
Is
was.
that what that chick was?
with the one she was touching her face and stuff.
Yeah, that, I'm guessing, but
Yeah.
it's just like, and then she starts like like doing the whole face touching
Yeah.
thing,
She's
and
all
she's like, well, how does that feel? And she's like touching all over her face. It's like, how does that feel? And I'm like, I get what they're trying to do,
You're trying to understand.
but it didn't work because I'm like,
There's
this
a lot
is
of
so creepy.
there's-
It's so weird.
There's a lot of moments like that where they try to get like an emotional thing out of you, but
It's like her.
They're just
it's
see,
a
that's like
robot
Deshaun
trying to
said, just
understand it.
beat you over the head with
the
this
problem
stuff. That's
is
what that scene
they
was.
try to get you with emotional stuff that just lands flat. Like the when she meets her mom, and like, well, their mom thinks she's dead, but like you knew it right off the bat when she's like, my daughter, and I lost my daughter, and I'm like, okay.
But then later on in the movie, come to find out, well, she finally believes. She visits her own grave, which is weird, and then her mom figures it out that it was her.
Would be a trippy ass thing right there.
That and the movie
Wasn't for
built
Nick Fury.
I'll admit this: the movie did try to build up another bad guy at the beginning to like throw you for a loop.
It
but
tried.
it became obvious that like, okay, this
Oh,
guy
you mean
got
the other guy?
Yeah, this guy got.
Yeah, there was
screwed
another
over.
guy that you see. So you see in the trailer too. His name was. You start with an M or some shit like that.
Okay.
He had like this whole human network. Like he used human minds as computers and shit, which is pretty smart.
It's been a concept for a long time.
But at the same time, it was like he was so just like he was he was that cliche. He's just misunderstood. Like
That's what it was like. Yeah, I
because at first you
misunderstood,
buy
and it
that
didn't
he's
work out.
evil, even though the CEO was evil. I already knew that, but it's like okay, there's two
He
evil
was
people,
actually-
right?
he
I thought
was
there's gonna be
actually-
two villains in the movie.
He was actually a cooler villain than the actual villain until they said, "Oh no, he's not
He's just
really a villain.
misunderstood. Oh, he's misunderstood.
He's killing them for a reason."
Like, oh my god, that was like so bad. I was like, it was so bad because, like I said, just hitting. Like, that would have been cool. Two villains in the movie. That to fight off two different people. That would have been epic. But nope.
They did bring in those spider machines though.
Those spider tanks?
Those big spider tanks. Even though in the anime they're a hell of a lot bulkier, but
Yeah.
this one was like, I mean, it was tactical looking.
And the
but
way,
it was cool
and you
seeing
know
it,
what though,
Sweet
this
pet.
human. Well, actually, no. This other guy is like her. He's a ghost in a shell. Shot.
God.
But that's what he is, and there's this scene where they're laying together, and they remember where they came from and how they got there, and like they're in this little house. They tried to beat
First
you
of all,
over the head
they
with this
changed.
emotion.
First of all, they changed major story because in the anime and manga, this is her story. As a little girl, she was sick. Her body was failing her, so they put her brain into a shell, and they just gradually upgraded it as she got older. But like that's what it was like. But in this, it was like, oh, she was an activist and she hated implants, so the government came and took her down, and then they experimented on her, took her brain out, and
I like the latter story
It's like-
better.
and
Makes sense. At least it's
because
makes
she's all,
sense.
I don't know what I am, and like in the anime it was made more sense because she's grown up with this, so she understood what she is. She's come to terms with it, and she's moved past it. But in this, it's all. It's,
Who am I?
They
Every
were
5 seconds. Who am I? Who am I?
yourself.
yeah, but like it just was just.
It was too bad.
They
It
just
was
beat you
bad.
over the head with the. They weren't subtle about it. It was just like.
The original anime was subtle. It was very subtle, and it made you think. This one was just like, who am I? Every 5 fucking seconds. It was like, who am I? What am I? Am I this? Am I that? It's like, oh my god, stop
It's
it!
basically like going through adolescence.
There is literal moments where it is boring.
Oh yeah, it was just
We
absolutely.
were talking about that. There are moments where like nothing's happening, and like literally like nothing's happening, and you're just like, okay.
That's basically
I was
what
like, I should
Deshaun
be
was
feeling
doing.
sleepy right now.
I know, right?
There are literal moments where it's boring, and I was like, how are there moments where it's boring in this movie? Come
Yeah, there was
on.
some moments where it was boring.
I've seen bad movies that didn't bore me.
Yeah, but
The movie overall wasn't boring, but it had its spots where you're not, Mark. You're gonna see if you see it that you're gonna just be like,
what?
That happens to some movies.
but it was so blatant in this.
It was
one,
so
'cause,
bad.
and we were talking about this too. The pacing is weird
The pacing is just
because they just go whoop, whoop,
random.
whoop,
It's not
whoop,
all over the
whoop,
place. It's just
whoop,
random
whoop,
because it's like it goes in like it's literally like think of the 4 directions of the compass. Think of the other 4 directions in between those directions, and then they add in these new directions. It's like what the
Well,
hell?
it'd be like you
Where's
see a
it going?
badass action scene, you're like, that was cool, and then it's boring. And then you see something supposed to be emotional, but you were just bored, so you're not really
And then back to
feeling it.
action.
And then back to a badass
And,
action scene.
and then right after that, it's another emotional because they skip over the boring part. Then they go all the way around. It's like
The
if I was
movie-
SpongeBob, right? If I was SpongeBob, I'd be twisted all over
the
myself.
movie didn't know where it wanted to go.
Got it.
Yeah, with that episode, yeah,
should've
that
just
episode,
focused.
opposite day.
It should have just focused on something. And
It should have
keyed in
focused
it,
on
but-
one thing and just went right for it. Instead, it was like blip, 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 blip. It was like all over the place. It was not. It was almost sickening how all over the place it was.
This movie had so much potential. You could see it, and that's the thing about this movie that makes me pissed is that I could see it. You can look right at this movie and be like, if you did this differently, if you did this differently, this movie could be great. It could be so great. It could have been that anime movie that made Hollywood, that made a whole bunch of people go, "Whoa, you can make these movies!" And then people in droves. You start seeing anime, big, huge budget, like millions and millions of dollar anime movies made all a
I think
shit
there's
ton.
still gonna be some progress.
I hope, but I mean, I do.
They
At the
lost
same-
60 mil on this, man.
They didn't make any money off this. They didn't
Like,
make
if you-
money off
At least
this
if you would have
movie.
made money, they'd been like, okay, well, we could make money off of these, but they lost 60 mil on this.
That's a bad sign. I don't think
It's a
guys in
learning
Hollywood
curve.
are gonna
It's
be.
a learning curve.
I think guys in Hollywood are gonna be really skeptical.
It's the best one
for a
I've
while.
seen, though, which is weird.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the best big budget anime movie I've seen. Way better than Dragon Ball. Oh my god.
Speak of that.
Compared to Dragon Ball, this is a 10.
But
Oh.
that's pretty much it, guys. There's nothing more we could really say that would spoil it.
She wins in the end.
She wins in the end. Pretty much. But anyway, guys, if you have seen Ghost in the Shell, please list your thoughts in the comment section below. We'd love to see your feedback. Did you love it? Did you hate it? We were meh. We were meh about it.
Meh.
Stop it.
It's meh. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us on.
Come get Move Show.
And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to see more of us in the future. And we shall see you next time on K94, Comic Gamer Movie Show. Goodbye.
So the bigger the bill, the harder you ball. Well, I'm going mine. 'Cause my money